Everyone, we're back with some more info for ancient Rome. Today's topic is going to be the birth of a republic. Starting off, the Etruscans are going to rule for over 100 years, and they made Rome wealthy and powerful. The Tarquins were the family that had ruled Rome, but they're going to become increasingly cruel. So in 509 BC, the Romans are going to rebel. They overthrew the Tarquins and they set up a republic. The definition of a republic is when the leader is not a king or a queen, but someone put in office by citizens with the right to vote. A government in which the citizens have power is essentially that same definition scaled down a little bit. What does that sound like? Hopefully it sounds like a democracy. Is there a difference between a republic and a democracy? Sort of. If you look it up, you will see that there is, in fact, some differences. But overall, a democracy and a republic are essentially the same. If you see them as like, you won't need to know the differences or anything like that. So if you can remember that a republic and a democracy are alike, then you'll be doing fine. This is going to mark the beginning of a new chapter in Rome. At this point, Rome was still a small city, and they were surrounded by enemies. They fought wars for about 200 years, and by the time we get to 267 BC, the Romans had defeated the Latins, the Etruscans, and the Greeks. Every male citizen who owned land had to serve in the army, so it's not that much different than what we saw when we looked back on our chapter in ancient Greece. They had tough discipline, and deserters, people that would leave the military, were punished by death. Originally, the Romans fought just like the Greeks, but the Roman generals realized that it was way too slow and it was hard to control. So they reorganized their soldiers into small groups called legions. A legion was about 6,000 men, and then that group would be divided up again into groups of about 60 to 120. Soldiers were called legionaries. So the legion was the group, the legionary was the individual soldier. A legionary would carry a short sword and a spear. And then each unit, so the unit is going to be the group of like 60 to 120. Each unit would carry a standard, which was a tall pole with a symbol at the top. You can see that in the image on this slide. What do you think that could possibly be used for? It's similar to if you go to Cedar Point or Disney World and you see those groups that all have the same shirt on. Basically, it's to spot somebody if they're lost. Or if you happen to get lost, you can spot your group. This symbol and this pole was basically designed so that when you're off fighting, you could obviously get separated from your unit. You could just look for the symbol that represents your unit and you would know where your group is. The Romans built permanent military settlements in areas that they conquered, and they built roads to get to these areas quicker. These are going to be the first real roads that are built basically in the world. Obviously, there are paths and roads that were used before, but they were primarily just dirt. The Romans are going to be the first ones to build a road that looks like something more familiar to us today. In order to rule all this territory, the Roman Confederation was created. The Roman Confederation gave full citizenship to certain people, mainly Latins. They were treated the same as any Roman. Others were considered allies, so they were free to run their own local affairs, but they had to pay taxes and provide soldiers. That is it for the notes on the birth of a republic.